Hello. I'm just going to start live here. I know some of you have been asking about how to get on these videos. I'm not exactly sure, but I think if you go to my page and then maybe click on the little picture of me, that's what I'm assuming. Maybe if you're on live, can you maybe post on there how you get on live so I can let people know? I know people are asking me and I have no idea. Is it just pop up in the feed? Does it, do you press on the little circle with the picture? That's what I'm wondering. Maybe just make a comment if you can. Hi, kitty. All right, okay. Welcome to my Candlelight class. And we're just gonna get started in a minute. I'm just gonna let people arrive and get settled. I'm not sure, I know people have been asking me how do I get on to these live classes. Oh, there goes my cat. And if you know how to get on these live classes, then please make a little post. I think somebody, oh cool. So you search Ceiba Tree and then I pop up and you just click on it. Okay. Cool. I have a feeling that you can access it by going to the page and clicking somewhere, like maybe on the picture or something. This is all new to me. Anyways, here we are. I'm gonna take my big warm socks off that I bundled into today. If you joined me on Wednesday for restorative, I was, or click on the story. Oh yeah, click on the story. Good idea. Thanks, Michelle. If you joined me on Wednesday for restorative, I was pretty low energy and I was feeling pretty rotten actually the last couple of days, and with everything going on, I feel like, I'm sure everybody's mind is like mine and goes a little cuckoo when you're not feeling great right now. So anywho, here I am feeling a bit better, and I'm glad to be here. If you want to get settled onto your back to start, if you've just joined us, start by lying down and we're going to get started that way. I did bring my bolster and blanket and yoga props tonight, but if you don't have those things, that's okay. I did mention on Wednesday that if you have a thicker blanket or even a denser blanket like this one, or a thicker blanket, you could roll it up. If you don't have a yoga bolster at your disposal at home, you could roll it up and it creates like this little tube, and we're going to maybe use that tonight as well for some postures. So again, a blanket, you could go ahead and get that. Let's see what other people are saying. Oh cool, you could get alerts. Okay, I'll let other people know as they ask me. So if you haven't reclined back already, go ahead and recline back, and we'll start with some breathing here. I'm going to adjust the lighting. I'm going to see what that looks like. It's still a little bit bright out. Might be a little bit dark, but hopefully you can still see me here. So lying down and connecting into your breath, and if it's comfortable, you can have your feet on the ground with your knees bent. But you could also have your legs extended, or maybe even bound angle posture. That's with your feet, the bottoms of your feet touching and your knees open wide. So whatever feels most comfortable for you right now. And give yourself a couple clearing breaths here, in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And as you exhale, see if you can melt some tension away out of your body, out of your mind. Letting your energy settle, coming back into your body. If it helps, you can place your hands on your belly or one hand on your belly, one hand over your heart. You can place your hands on your hips or beside you. If your hands are on your belly, feel your breath in, fill up your belly, and feel your belly expand into your hands. And as you exhale, notice your belly releasing back down towards the floor. And if you like tonight, you could engage the core of your body or the center of your body by drawing your belly button or your navel towards your spine on the bottom of your exhale, emptying out to the very bottom of your lungs. And as you inhale, if you'd like to, you could take a very slight pause at the top of your breath in, and then exhale completely. If any of that causes any tension or it doesn't feel natural, just come into a natural breath or start to lengthen your inhale and exhale to your own rhythm. And then begin to bring your breath a little bit higher up into your chest, into your collarbones. And each exhale, soften your shoulder blades towards the floor. Maybe relax the back of your neck and your head. And just check in with how your energy feels here tonight. Do you feel tired? Do you feel wired? Do you feel anxious? Maybe you see if you can find a word that describes how you feel right now. And then start to draw into your awareness the kind of energy that you'd like to feel at the end of this practice, so that you can start to gather that energy towards you and start to let go of that heavier energy. Maybe you feel tired or worn out or anxious, and you can start to release some of that on your breath out. And maybe you want to feel a bit lighter or full of joy or whatever it is. Start to bring some of that energy in towards you as you breathe in. And if you feel okay to close your eyes, you could close your eyes here and start to soften the space between your eyebrows and your jaw and the muscles in your scalp and your face. We'll spend a few more breaths here. And just with your eyes open or your eyes closed, you could start to make some gentle circles with your ankles and your wrists. If your feet are bent or your knees are wide, extend your legs forward. Maybe take your arms overhead if that's okay, and stretch out from your fingers to your toes. Give yourself a big body stretch here. Maybe take a full breath in and then just relax. And maybe do that one more time. We're going to take a big stretch, take a breath in, and then let it go. And if it feels okay, you can bring one knee or both knees into your chest. Hold the tops of your shins or your knees and rock a little bit here from side to side. Or make some big circles with your knees. A few times in one direction, a few times in the opposite direction. And keep going with that. I'm just going to adjust the lighting for a little bit here. Turn the light back on. So everyone can see me here. Hello, hello. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Shannon, so welcome. I'm in my living room right now, as you can probably see. And since I can't teach out there in the world right now, I'm going to be teaching from my living room for the next little while. And after my class tonight, you could go to the Sadhana Yoga and Sound Facebook page, where The owner, my friend Bonnie, will be loading up her sound journey tonight. It'll be, she's loading it onto YouTube, so you can check out the Facebook page of Sadhana if you want the information on that. Sadhana, Sadhana, Yoga and Sound, and Bonnie will have her sound journey. So you can enjoy that, some gongs and singing bowls right after this practice if you'd like. Anyways, we're going to take figure 4 pose. I'm kind of jumping ahead here already, but bring one foot on top of your opposite upper leg, and you could move. Right now I've got my left foot on top of my right leg. I'm going to move my left leg slightly away from my body, and I can pause here. If you have a block or something a little bit higher, you could even just place your right foot up on the block, or you can bring your right knee in towards your chest. Take your hands behind or on top of your shin, behind your knee, and try to relax your shoulders back down towards the floor and connect back into your breath here. I don't know if you can see my candles. Hopefully you can. They are burning. They're moving. Take a couple deep breaths up into your heart space here. And as you're ready, begin to release your both feet back down to your mat, and you could extend your legs forward if you like, shake it out a little bit, or you can bring your feet as wide as your mat and release your knees a few times from side to side. Sometimes I call this windshield wipering. This block is hanging out. Windshield wipering from side to side. And then we'll take figure 4 on the other side. So this time I'm going to bring my right foot on top of my left leg, move my right leg away from my body a little bit. And you can choose to stay here. You could place your foot up on a cushion or something a little bit higher, or you could bring your knee right in towards your chest. And again, maybe trying to relax your head and your shoulders a little bit here. And connect back into your breath. You can continue to let go of whatever it is that you would like to let go of right now. And you could start to inhale in whatever it is that you'd like to draw in towards you. Staying connected with your breath. Just a couple more breaths here. And as you're ready, releasing your feet again, maybe extending both feet forward, releasing your feet side to side or feet on the ground. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Maybe give yourself a full body stretch here again. Oh, I don't know about you, but I've been on the couch a lot more than I usually am in the last couple days. Bring my knees back up into my chest. You can as well. Rock a little bit here from side to side. Couple deep clearing breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. So now I'm going to start with my left knee in towards my chest. My right foot is going to come back down to my mat, and I'm just going to make a little bit of gentle movement, bringing my knee a little wider and up towards my armpit and then back towards the center. Just creating a little bit of movement for my hip joint here. And you can pause with your knee in towards your chest or your knee a little bit wider if you like. Or you might want to grab the bottom, your heel with your right hand and move your leg across your body, just kind of like what we did. Some of you might want to come into half happy baby pose. Some of you probably or may not be able to. You can grab your ankle and lift your foot over top of your knee, or you can grab the side of your foot. Some of you may just need to grab behind your knee and draw your knee down alongside you. Now if you're rolling to that side a lot, counter that by drawing your opposite knee out to the side. You want to try to stay centered in your hips if you can, but doing whatever feels good here for half happy baby pose. I'm going to take a couple more breaths here. And of course, I didn't mention this yet, but when I'm offering different options, if none of them are working for you, just skip it. Find something else that works for you, or just come to lie back onto your back. We don't want to create more tension in yoga. We want to release it. So when you're ready, release that side. Maybe extend your legs, shake it out a little bit, give it a little bit of a wiggle, and then bring your right knee towards your chest, and we're going to move out to the side and back to the center. Just do that a number of times and get a little bit of movement into your hip joint. Take a couple clearing breaths if you need. Connecting back to your breath. Now you can stay here with your knee towards your chest or out to the side, or for those of you that took half happy baby, you can grab your foot, you can grab your ankle here or behind your knee and draw your knee down alongside you or towards the space beside you. Your other knee is going to draw wide so you can hopefully stay a little bit more even in your hips and your lower backs, still on the floor. A couple more breaths here. Remember, you can release and let go of this anytime. And as you're ready, let's release that side. Let's extend both legs forward and shake it out a little bit here. Maybe give yourself that full body stretch again. Stretch it out. Take a clearing breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. So we're going to move through bridge pose, and some of you might want to just hold bridge here. I'm going to create some movement. I'm going to show you a couple options. The first option is to inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower your hips back down. Okay. Option 2 is to press your hips up towards the ceiling. Hold here with either your hands on the ground or interlace your hands underneath you. Okay. And that's just to hold. Option 3 will be to inhale, lift your hips, reach your arms up overhead, and exhale, lower your hips, bring your hands back down, and we're going to move with our breath this way. Inhaling and then exhaling. So you choose. You can add the arm movement if you're moving through bridge, or you can hold the bridge, or you can just keep your arms down beside you if you're moving through the bridge. So we're going to take maybe about 5 more breaths, moving with your own pace if you're moving, and adding the arms in at any point if you like, or if you're holding again, just a few more breaths here. And last breath. And lowering back down. And again, you may want to bring both knees towards your chest. You may want to extend your legs forward, or you could windshield wiper your feet a few times, or knees a few times from side to side here. All right, so let's see. I was going to do one more thing here. So I'm going to start with my left leg extended towards the ceiling. I'm going to take my hands behind my hamstring, so less behind my knee. You could if you want there, but let's get into the hamstring here. So if your leg's really tight and it's kind of on an angle here, bend your knee. Take a hold of your hamstring, which is the big muscle behind your upper leg, and keep your knee bent here, and you're just going to work your heel towards the ceiling. Now, if you can straighten your leg up a little bit, you can go ahead and do that. Try to flex your toes back towards you, towards your shin. And you may want to press your hands in towards your leg, and at the same time, press your leg in towards your hands. If you get a bit shaky, it's okay. Connect into your breath and try to relax through your shoulders so you're not drawing the tension up towards your upper back as well. A couple more breaths here. For these final, maybe few breaths, if you want to circle your ankle a few times in one direction and maybe a few times in the opposite direction, go ahead and do that. And as you're ready, we'll release that side and maybe give that leg a little shake and come to the other side, which can feel very different than the first side, so just checking in with your body here. And we'll start with our, if you need to, knee bent and working your heel towards the ceiling, flexing your toes. If you can straighten your leg out a bit more, drawing your hands in towards your leg pressing back towards your hands. Relax through your shoulders, connect to your breath. You want to make a few circles with your ankle, go ahead and do that a few times in one direction, opposite direction. And as you're ready, release, extend everything out, maybe a full body stretch here again. And you can either roll to your side and come up to your seat, or if you'd like to, you can rock and come up to your seat. It's a bit more fun. We're going to come to tabletop. Oh, I see a few more people join. Hello, hello, Friday night. Yeah. Okay. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We're going to move through cat and cow. So this is your exhale, your round, chin towards your chest. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your sit bones. My ponytail's gone a little crazy here. I'm going to fix that in a second. Start to move with your own breath, arching and rounding through your spine and adding in any other movement that you'd like. So it could be a little bit of move to the side. Could be moving your hips towards your heels. Any movement here to create a little space. A few more breaths, moving through cat and cow, and or moving from tabletop in any way that supports you here. Good. As you're ready, we're going to come back into child's pose. So you could bring your knees a little wider than your hips, or you could place your hands underneath your forehead. You could also have your knees a little closer if you prefer. Your arms could be alongside your body. So whatever feels good for you tonight. And we're going to take maybe about 6 or 7 breaths, more breaths here. Relaxing your jaw. Try to soften the front of your body towards the floor. Now, if this is bothersome for your knees, you can just come back to tabletop or take a tall seat at any point. Now we're going to take a little bit of a twist over to the side. So place your right arm over towards the left side of your mat. You could bring your right arm wider, or you could take your right arm alongside you. And you want to feel perhaps, if your right arm's across and your left arm's also across, you want to feel something along the right side of your body perhaps. Try to anchor down through your right hip, drawing back and down. Breathing here deeply. And just as you're ready, coming back to the center, we'll take the other side. Left arm moving across, and it doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to feel some length through the side of your body. Try to relax your shoulders. Shoulder blades onto your back here, connecting back to your breath. as you're ready, making your way back through center, coming back to tabletop, and maybe making a little bit of movement here. You could move through cat and cow, which is arching and rounding through your spine, or any other movement that feels good. So I'm going to do one more twist. You can either do it from tabletop or child's pose. I'll show you from tabletop. I'm going to reach my right arm out to the right, weave it out towards the left, come down onto my right side, and you can either keep your left arm where it is, extend it forward, or place your hand on your lower back. Now, the other alternative to this would be to sit your hips back, so you're more into child's pose doing this. A little bit maybe more compressive on your shoulders, so just notice how that feels. You may prefer one over the other. Just take a couple more breaths here. And as you're ready, we're going to lift, lift all the way back up and come over to the other side here. Again, you can do this from child's pose or tabletop. You gonna come visit? Get you up here. My cat's up on his little pedestal. He's been sleeping for 2 days straight. When you're ready, let's come back up to tabletop one more time. If you'd like to move into child's pose for a few breaths, you can. Some of you may want to move into downward dog. So walk your hands forward just a little bit, tuck your toes, and lift your hips up and back. And then maybe walk it out a little bit here. Bend one knee, send the opposite heel down. And at any time, if you are in downward dog and you just want to take a breather or a break, you could come to child's pose, or you could walk your hands towards your feet for a forward fold here. Just a few more breaths. So we are going to actually come up into a standing forward fold by either walking your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands, or moving out of child's pose and then coming into a forward fold here. Couple options for your forward fold. Let your arms hang, your head hang. You could grab opposite elbows. You could sway your upper body. You might like to move from your right foot to your left foot, or your heel to your toes. Let's take a couple more breaths. And just as you're ready, place your hands on your shins or to blocks and take a breath in. Lift up halfway, straightening your arms, rolling your shoulders back, lengthening the top of your head forward. And then fold in as you exhale. We'll do that with our breath just 2 more times, inhaling to lengthen up about halfway, and exhale to fold back in. One more time, inhale and exhale. Now you can place your hands on your hips and take 1 breath in to rise. I'm going to ragdoll. I'm going to take a couple breaths to come all the way up to stand, letting my head be the last thing that lifts. Making sure to breathe in all the way to the top. Hey buddy, you going to come visit today? You too tired, huh? All right, so if you're not at the front of your mat, make your way forward. Take a breath in, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. So think of that energy you want to breathe in. Breathe in and breathe that in. Full breath in. Exhale, let go, release anything you want to let go of. 2 more times like that. Inhale and exhale. And 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. I'm going to turn towards you. And I notice every time I set up my mat, I like cut my head off when I'm standing. Just very interesting. The headless yoga teacher. Oh my. All right, so tree pose. We're going to come into tree pose. We're going to come into another balance after this. But let's just work with this. And if you have a hard time with balance, hold on to something near you, or even step onto your floor if you don't have carpeted floor. Sometimes the yoga mat's a little squishy. You can come onto the wood floor. So you can rest one heel on your opposite ankle with your knee towards the side, or you could bring your foot below your knee. You could also bring your foot above your knee. Wherever it is that you are, try not to bring your foot right on your knee joint. And you can place your hands at heart center. You can reach your arms up overhead. You can keep your hands on your hips. And at any point you need to, your toes will just come back down. Now we're trying to really stabilize through our core, and we're trying to lengthen in either direction. So you're lengthening up through the top of your head, maybe rooting down through your legs, and find a little bit more length, and then some ease in the posture. So connecting into your breath here again. Windy tree. Oh man, I'm a little bit wobbly today. And just as you're ready, we're going to come out. That was a long hold, sorry everyone. Shake it out a little bit. You can do a little dance. And then we're going to do the other side. You can tell I have a little bit more energy tonight than I've had probably all week. I've had a few days of rest, which has been really good for me. And looking forward to some more days of rest, actually. It's be nice, wonderful. So your tree pose might look different from mine, and that's okay. We're just really finding some stability through our standing leg here. So really rooting into our standing leg, into our foot, and maybe lengthening up from there. Maybe even working with your breath once you find all of that. And find some ease in the posture. Just a little bit of outer layer softening. And just when you're ready, we're going to release that side and shake it out. Let it go a little bit. So I'd like to do one more standing posture balance. I'm going to show you from the side, and then I'm going to turn around and show you from the facing the camera. This one is like figure 4, and we did that on our back. This is like a chair pose though. So you want to avoid, so I'm actually going to show you really quick, and then I'm going to describe it to you. So you want to sit back and down like you're sitting in a chair, as opposed to drawing your knee forward and leaning your upper body back. So you want to sit back and down and maybe lower your upper body. So I'll show you what it looks like here. I'm going to step off my mat. So here, and hello here. Now, this one might require you to hold on to something for some balance. It's a really good hip opener. The further you sit back and down, and the more you lean in, the more you're going to feel. So you may look more like this, and that's okay. Let's take a few more breaths here. Just as you're ready, we're going to lift up. Shake it out a little bit. And let's come to the other side. So here, sitting back, leaning forward maybe. This side might feel different. A little tighter on the right. Let's connect to our breath. Try to relax through your shoulders. And just as you're ready, we'll lift back up and let that go a little bit. All right, so coming back to your mat, coming back to mountain pose here, taking a couple clearing breaths, feeling both feet firmly rooted here. And take your next breath in and reach your arms up again. And then exhale, forward fold. Let's come all the way back down into our forward fold. Hands to your shins. We're going to lengthen up about halfway. And then we're going to exhale and fold in. Now we're going to take a big step back with our left foot. Bring our left foot down. And we're just going to take a little bit of a twist here. So if you have a little bit of room to move your back knee back, you can even walk your right foot a little wider here. And I'm going to turn open towards our front leg. Actually, going to turn around here. So turn towards the right leg, shoulders come back. You can be here. You can bring your hand to your hip. You can extend your arm up. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to the center and walk your front foot in a little bit here and lift the bottom of your foot. Again, getting into the back of our legs. So front leg is straight-ish. You might have a generous bend to your knee if you're really tight. Flex your toes back towards you and maybe fold in here if that's okay. Like that. And when you're ready, we're going to step forward and come back into our forward fold. So you might take a few little hops forward with your back foot. And then we're going to step our right foot back. Bring your right knee to the ground and walk your left foot a little wider here. And your left hand can come up to your left leg. You can try to bring your shoulders back. You can stay here. You can bring your hand to your hip. Or you can extend your arm up. Connecting to your breath. Look in any direction that your neck feels comfortable as well. Good. When you're ready, bringing both hands down, let's move our hips back, straighten out our front legs, and lift the bottom of our foot. And we're going to hang out here, or you can fold in a little bit here and breathe. Good. When you're ready, this time instead of hopping forward, let's move our front leg all the way back. Bring your hands to your mat so that you're in tabletop, and then you can either move your knees back or your hands forward slightly. And so your shoulders come over your wrists. We're going to bend our elbows and lower down, come all the way to the ground. So a couple options here. You can come to Sphinx pose right away if you like. Elbows just slightly forward of your shoulders, forearms to the ground, shoulders back and down. So try not to let your shoulders creep up towards your ears. And if that's not comfortable, hands underneath your shoulders, lift your shoulders. You're gazing down towards the floor in a low cobra here. Okay, so Sphinx pose or cobra. And let's connect to our breath. If you're in Sphinx pose and you prefer to have your chin towards your chest, go ahead and do that. Or your gaze can be neutral, which is just maybe towards your hands or the space between your forearms. And anytime you can come out, but we're going to I'll just take a couple more breaths here, but if you need to come out sooner, just come out when you're ready. And as you're ready, you can bring your elbows wide. You can make a pillow for your head. You can even bring one knee up alongside your body here. Slow your breath down a little bit. Breathe into your back, your lower belly. As you're ready, coming all the way back, extend your leg back. Now this time we're going to come to a couple variations of locust pose. So hands come back maybe a little bit towards your rib cage. Option one, lift your chest here. Keep your hands rooted. Maybe lift your feet so your legs stay straight. You could also extend your arms back. Your feet could be also on the floor. Or some of you might be able to interlace your hands here and draw your knuckles back. Wow, did you hear all that cracking? Couple more breaths here. And as you're ready, we're going to release again. Make a pillow, turn your head the other way, and bring your other knee up alongside you. All right, I'm going to offer up one more back bend, but you can choose to come back to Sphinx pose. You could come back to locust pose. This one is called finger stand cobra. Maybe I'll turn around so you can see me here. I'm getting burnt by the candle. So your fingers come off your mat. So they're off and wide here. Elbows lifted, shoulders come back. And then you press into your feet and begin to lift your chest. Maybe wrap your elbows in. It's a little bit more of a back bend for some of you. Try not to have your shoulders up towards your ears. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And as you're ready, we're going to lower down. And this time we're going to press back into child's pose. So taking your time, finding child's pose, especially after back bend, you might ease your way in. We'll take about 6 to 8 breaths here, depending on the rhythm of your breath. Taking your time to lift yourself upright. Now, I showed you that little rolled up blanket earlier. If you have a blanket around this size, or some of you may have a yoga block, either one will do. So you can sit up on a block or you can sit up on a rolled up blanket, your choice. Whatever it is that you have. If you don't have anything, that's okay too. Hopefully you just have something to sit up on for your hips if you need to. I'm just going to come up a little bit closer here, I think. Okay. So let's extend our legs wide, and so I don't get singed. Hands out to the side. So we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. For some of you, this might just be an upright place to be. If you're sitting up on something higher, wiggle forward so that your hips start to tilt forward a little bit as opposed to leaning back into your hips. If you're still leaning back, prop your fingertips beside you and lift upright. If you're really uncomfortable, you can maybe place something underneath your knees here too, or just take a slightly narrower stride. So we're going to start here, fingertips beside you, lengthening upwards. You may or may not be able to press into your fingertips and lean forward. Some of you might be able to bring your hands forward. You just want to avoid being rounded through your spine here and reaching forward. So if you can lengthen through your spine and lean in, that's cool. If not, keep your hands maybe behind you to lift yourself more upright. If you're folding in, you can let your head and your gaze draw down as well, connecting to your breath here and softening as much as you can. Now, when we come into forward folds, there's sometimes this natural little bit of a pulsation with our breath. So there's a little bit of a lift on the inhale, and there's a little bit more of a opportunity to soften on our exhale. See if you can find that little bit of it's like a little bit of a ripple of a wave coming into the shore. It's just whoosh. Yeah, somebody liked that. I'll try not to make too many more sound effects. Couple more breaths here. Now we're going to walk ourselves upright if you're folded in. We're going to stay on our prop. Here comes the cat. So curious. Hi, buddy. You didn't make an appearance the other day. Yeah, okay. So we're going to move to one side. I'm going to start on my right. I'm going to start with my right hand or the back of my hand on the inside. If you can get your elbow even on the inside of your leg, try that. And place your left hand to your hip. Now place a little bit of pressure on your leg with your right arm. Shoulders come back and maybe turn open towards the left. Try not to lift up your left side here. Some of you might just need to lean in and you'll feel that. Some of you might want to reach your left arm up, or maybe start to reach over. And try not to do this. Maybe shoulders back, and maybe some of you can actually reach your foot and hold. I'm not a good demo of that right now. Connecting to your breath. Come here. Come here. Come see everybody. And inhale, let's rise and come up, and we're going to take that to the other side. Come here. Come on, honey. Left arm on the inside, shoulders roll back. This might be enough. I can feel length here already. And here you could reach your arm up or maybe extending over. Connecting to your breath. Let's rise and come up and take your hands underneath your knees. You could extend your legs forward, shake it out. You could lean back and windshield wiper a few times from side to side. All right. So I'd like to do a little bit of a back bend, and I'm hoping everybody has something like a blanket or a bolster. So you could use a rolled up blanket across your mat. I did this the other day. If you joined in on Wednesday night, you can put the blanket or your bolster across your mat. And then when you lie down, you want to have the middle back, you want to have your shoulders free and your upper back free. So I'll show you what that looks like here. And you want to also have your lower back or your sacrum on the floor. So you can see here, right in my middle back, able to extend my arms out. And your feet can be anywhere that feels comfortable. Hi, buddy. Extending your legs forward. Hi. Hey. Feet together, knees wide. Create even more of a back bend, but it's up to you. If your legs are extended and it feels too much for your lower back, bring your feet to the ground. And if this isn't working for you at all, just come on out. We're going to hold here for maybe another 6 or so breaths. Up. What are you doing? Feisty boy. Up. Gonna play, huh? All right. My cat is shredding his scrunching post. He's shredded to bits already. Oh my goodness. Hey. So we're going to just take a few more breaths here. Now, just as you're ready, start to roll to one side. You could stay there for a couple breaths if you like, or you could lift yourself all the way back up, coming back up to your seat. Okay. So we're going to take a twist here, and before we come back onto our back, and we'll do a little bit more practice on our back. So you can take your cross-legged stride if you like, and you can take an open twist this way. If you prefer, you could extend your right leg. Sorry, cat. Bring your left foot on the outside of your right leg, and you could twist towards your top leg. Buddy, you keep blocking the camera, silly boy. And then from here, your backhand lengthens you upwards and turning towards the side and connecting to your breath here. return to the center, and we'll switch sides, whether you're in cross-legged or you're taking one foot across. And find your back hand to prop you upright a little bit here. Take a breath in. You can hold the back of your knee, or you can wrap your arm around. Let's take a few breaths here. Relax your shoulder blades onto your back. And let's return to the center. Extend everything out. If you'd like, you can take a breath in here and then exhale, fold forward. Just pause for a breath or two. When you're ready, let's lift up and begin to recline back onto your back. So lying back onto your back, knees in towards your chest. And give yourself a little bit of a rock here from side to side. I'm just going to adjust everything a little bit. Daniel. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. All right, hopefully everyone can see me. It's really dark now. Come on, it's okay. So knees to chest, rock a little bit here, side to side. I don't think you guys can see me. Oh boy. I wanted candlelight, but. All right. Technical difficulties, here I am. Okay. Knees to chest, rock a little bit. Now, let's bring our feet back down to the ground and feet wide, windshield wiper your feet or your knees here from side to side. And then coming back to the center, bring your feet together and your knees wide. Now, I should have mentioned this earlier. If you have a bolster, a yoga bolster, you could place that or the rolled up blanket along the length of your spine. So you could have your rolled up blanket right here along the length of your spine and bring your feet together, knees wide, or the same thing with your yoga bolster. If you have a bolster, you probably have done this before, so probably don't need to show you here. And here. Wherever it is that you are, connecting to your breath. Now, if you have the blanket along your spine and your head's free, you may want to put a cushion or a pillow or something underneath your head as well, just to give it a little bit of support. I'm going to get you to maybe bring your hands back to your belly or hands on your heart, and just notice your breath again, moving into your belly. Think about what it is that you want to draw in again, and then exhale to release whatever you want to let go of. At any time you need to come out of the bound angle part of the pose with your knees wide, you could place your feet on the ground or extend your legs forward. We're going to still spend maybe about 5 or 6 more breaths here. So just noticing your breath. Take a moment to connect to the rhythm of your breath. Just taking your time here, bringing your knees back towards one another, maybe extending your legs forward, shaking it out a little bit. Now if you're on a bolster or a blanket, you could roll to one side, or you could sit up and take the prop off to the side. We're going to come to lie flat on our backs again. This time we're going to take a twist over to one side. So knees come up and over to one side. Try to rest your feet and your knees on the ground. You can hold your legs down. Try to maybe even extend both arms out, or you can have one hand on your legs. Connecting to your breath here. Trying to relax through your upper body, your shoulders. And when you're ready, coming back through the center and over to the other side. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Trying to relax through your upper body, your head, your shoulders, your neck. Back through the center. Bring your hips back into the middle of your mat, and one more time bring your knees up into your chest. Maybe rock a little bit here side to side. Make some circles with your ankles. You could give yourself a full body stretch again. Now, if you want to use a blanket or your props for Shavasana, that's our final resting posture. You could place the bolster again along the length of your spine, or you could place it underneath your knees. You could put a blanket on or some socks. Get yourself comfortable. If it's comfortable to lie on your back, lie on your back. If it's not, find another place that's comfortable. It could be child's pose, or on your seat, or on your side. Give yourself the gift of this time, which is hopefully quiet and still for you at your place. Give yourself a couple of clearing breaths here as you settle in through your nose, out through your mouth. And one more time, deep breath in and exhale. Just find a natural rhythm of your breath and allow yourself to just be. Give yourself the gift of this time. to deepen your breath. Make some movement maybe with your ankles and your wrists, or give yourself a full body stretch. Bring your knees up into your chest if you like. Whenever you're ready, just coming over to one side. Just take a moment here, a few breaths to settle. And just making your way back up to your seat just as you're ready. Come to your seat, take a moment, a couple breaths, maybe hand on your belly, hand on your heart, a couple deep breaths of gratitude. I want to thank everybody for supporting me and taking class and sending me messages, and it really has helped a lot. So I thank you all. It's helping me sort of feel energized and gives me a sense of purpose to get on my mat and to be teaching right now. So thank you all, and keep sending me messages. I'd love to hear from you. And just a reminder, I mentioned it at the beginning of practice, but if you'd like to go to check out Bonnie's sound journey, you can go to the Sadhana Yoga and Sound page on Facebook after this and go check it out. It's amazing. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for being here, and see you soon. Namaste. Thank you. Here comes Bocat. So thanks everybody. It's really nice to see everybody, and I'm looking forward to doing some more yoga with you all. And I'm just so far I'm taking the weekend off, and I'm going to be back Tuesday and Thursday morning. I do save them on my Facebook page, so you can do them anytime, come to class anytime. But if you have other suggestions for times, I'd love to hear from you. Meow meow, hi buddy. And yeah. Aw, my cat's like a dog. He just gave me a little lick. Thanks everyone. I'll see you next week. I might throw another one in there. Oh, that's sideways. Ugh. Okay. Thanks everyone. I might throw another one in on the weekend. We'll see how things go here. Okay, bye.